What's going on, everybody? I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. It is Friday. I'm chilling here in my living room with my stripper pole, and I apologize. You can probably hear my AC right now because it is so hot. I just had to have it on. But yeah, I just got back from the DMV, so I could probably do a whole rant about that awesome experience, but instead I'm just going to lay back, kind of let off some steam, and talk about watches, because watches actually make me a little bit happy. Although, I don't know if you guys are going to be too happy with this episode. That's such a terrible way of pre-framing this whole video. I don't know if you guys are going to like this. Yeah, I have a feeling people are going to call me a snob after this, although I have only the best intentions with this episode. Now, just bear with me. It's 3:45 p.m. Let's get down to business. All right, so guys, I have three very cool watches laid out here before me. We'll be getting close-up shots of those as I talk. First, my Certina DS2 Chronolympic, very, very cool chronograph. Second would be my Grand Seiko J14070, the first ever Grand Seiko, first ever Japanese chronometer grade watch, just a really cool piece in my collection. And lastly, a watch you guys have seen a lot, my Rolex reference number 1500. Now, whenever I post a picture on Instagram of any of these watches, or whenever I make an episode for you guys featuring any of these watches, I seem to get people writing to me just saying the same things, and it's crazy. I'll post a picture, I'll make a video with one of these watches, and people will say, "Can you help me find one of these for under $1,000?" Now, are these the most expensive watches in the world? No. Are they the most expensive watches in my collection even? No, actually. But I don't think I'd ever be able to find any of these watches, as cool as they are, for under $1,000. It's not going to happen. So when I reply and I tell the people the bad news that these watches just simply do not exist at that price range, I often get like the same follow-up question, and it is always, all right, well, what's the cheapest I can get a Rolex for? Or what's the cheapest I can get a Grand Seiko for? I do not like these questions, and here's why. I totally understand being a fan of a particular brand. Like, I'm a huge Seiko guy, you guys know that. I'm a huge Rolex guy, but it's because of the particular watches that they've come out with that I've loved that have in turn compelled me to love the brand. I think it's just silly to want a Rolex for the sake of it being a Rolex. I think it's silly to want a Grand Seiko for the sake of it being a Grand Seiko. That doesn't make sense to me. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'm articulating this properly. I'm not trying to be insensitive. Let me know in the comment section, does this make sense? And here's one more thing to think about, okay? Like, do you really want that Rolex that is somehow being sold for under $1,000? Or do you really want that Grand Seiko that you found for under $1,000? Like, in my opinion, it's either straight up fake, or something's incredibly wrong with it, mechanically speaking, or it's like stolen, or something just really sketchy. Like, I would stay very, very far away from that watch. Now, again, I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm not trying to say you don't deserve to have a Rolex or you don't deserve to have a Grand Seiko because only the Time Teller can have these watches. No, if you want a Rolex, by all means, get a Rolex. If you want a Grand Seiko, by all means, get a Grand Seiko, but don't get caught up on the name that's on the dial. Like, I'm very fortunate to have a bunch of younger viewers, a bunch of younger watch collectors that watch me here or that follow me on Instagram, and I get a lot of awesome questions every day. Please keep asking me those questions. You can write to me directly on my Instagram account at The Simple Consultant, but please do not get caught up in the brand. I get younger viewers writing to me asking me, you know, am I a real watch collector even though I don't have a Rolex? Or am I a watch enthusiast because I don't have an Omega or this or that, or I don't have a Swiss watch yet, or does it count? Look, dude, you don't need any of those to be considered a watch enthusiast. I would go as far as to say you don't even need to own a watch to be a watch enthusiast. It sounds weird, but hear me out. I love Ferraris and like Formula One and race cars and everything. I don't have a Ferrari yet. I'm not a Formula One driver, that's for sure. but I love those. I love jet planes. I don't have a jet plane. I love yachts. I don't have a yacht yet. So you don't need to have these things to be an enthusiast of it. So just don't get caught up in it, guys, please. I understand wanting these brands because they're cool, they're luxurious, they have a lot of history, and when you do get your Rolex, I'm proud of you. That's a huge accomplishment. I'm not trying to take anything away from that, but I'm also, I don't want you to get too caught up on the name on the dial. Is this making sense? I don't know if this is even coming out properly, but that's kind of the purpose of these watch rants. I just need to get it off my chest. So if you guys understand what I'm saying, please leave me a comment. We can converse in the comment section. And if this is not making sense at all, leave me a comment and let me know that I'm being an idiot. But I have a feeling when this was kind of boiling in my head, marinating, I was like, people are gonna call me a snob. People are gonna say that they shouldn't get a Rolex because only I can get a Rolex. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, like, if you don't have a Rolex right now, don't worry about it. You're still a watch collector. You're still a watch enthusiast, and you still should be taken seriously. Excuse me. So don't worry about it. Just have goals. Go for those goals, and when you accomplish your goals, then it'll feel amazing. But don't worry about it. Don't try to get the cheapest Rolex ever or the cheapest Grand Seiko ever, because it just sounds sketchy and you don't know what you're getting into. So yeah, I wish you guys all the best on your watch collecting goals. And again, write to me here, write to me at The Simple Consultant on Instagram, and I'll help you find some really cool watches. But just don't get caught up in the brand hype. And that was it, guys. Thank you so much. I feel so much better just getting that off my chest. Maybe I'll do a follow-up video when I kind of think about this a little bit more. But again, leave me a comment if it made sense to you. Yeah, I would really love to keep this going in the comment section. So please do comment. And as always, I want to thank you so much for checking out the Time Teller shop. I've added new watches to that store. So click the link in the description below and shop around. It really does help the channel out a ton when you do that. So thank you. And if you're new here, if this is your first time joining us here at the Time Teller channel, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by. It means a whole lot, but why don't we make this a little bit more official? Click that subscribe button. It takes 1 second, helps me out a ton. While we're at it, go ahead, click that little bell icon so you do not miss an episode of the Time Teller. There's just so much more awesome content on the way, and you don't want to miss it. I'm telling you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with other watch enthusiasts, other people that you think would enjoy this. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it. And I almost forgot. We broke past 40,000 subscribers yesterday, I think, and we're already almost at 41,000. You guys are amazing. I love each and every one of you. Big hug. You guys rock. Thank you.